multiplying decimals. There are two skills you need for this. You need to be able to multiply and you need to be able to use place value. So they're your two big ideas you're going to be looking at. So 3.7 times 6. The easiest way you can do this question is by imagining the decimal wasn't there. So if the decimal wasn't there, we'd call it 37 and we'd like to then multiply it by 6. Now the reason we can ignore the decimal for now is because whatever we've done to get rid of the decimal, we can then undo it later. So ignoring the decimal, we'll do 37 times 6. So as I said, you'll need your grid method. Lay it out. 37 splits into 30 and 7, and then our 6 is what we're going to multiply it by. This should be then straightforward, as long as you've been fine with the grid method. So we focus on doing 6 times 3 first of all. That's 18, but it was times 30, not 3, so we need to make it 10 times bigger. Pop that 0 on. Okay, and then we need to do 6 times 7 for our next part of the grid. 6 7s are 42, and then we've got our answer to work out. So we need to add those two together, 180 plus 42, using our columns. Then that's going to give us 0 plus 2, 8 plus 4, which is 12, and then the 1 plus the 1 to get us 2. So if we did ignore the decimal point, 37 times 6 is 222. Now, when I say we were ignoring it, we just manipulated it without even thinking about it. So, is our question bigger? Yes. And by how much? So 3.7 and 37, if we think about our place value, so I'm just going to do 3.7 and actually 37. So this is our units column. This would be where our tens are, and this would be our tenths. 37 is actually just one place value to the left, and when we do one place value to the left, that means it's been times multiplied by 10. So if our question is 10 times bigger to make it easier for us, we need to undo that and divide it by 10. And then that will give us our answer to our original question, 3.7 multiplied by 6. So we need to still do 222 divided by 10. Now again, if your place value is good, you'll just know it, but if not, imagine these were your place value in your book. Dividing by 10 means we just move it one place back to the right, and obviously that's where our decimal point would be. So every digit moves one place across, so the 2, 2 and 2. So that would get us to 22.2. So that's our final answer to the question. 3.7 times 6 is 22.2. Check it's sensible. 3.7 is just over 3, so if we think about 3 6s are 18, it must be bigger than 18, and that is sensible. If you need to pause that and copy it down, do so. We'll do a second example, and then you can have a go and practice it some more. Okay, so say our next example is 1.26 multiplied by 9. So what we're going to do with this is just make the question easier, turn 1.26 into 126. So just ignore that decimal for now and we'll work it out later. And then we're going to multiply that by 9. So we're going to split it into a bigger grid this time. So we're going to split 100, 20 and 6, just separating that, 126. And this time we are multiplying it by 9. So we're going to answer it the same as last time. 9 lots of 1, or 9 lots of 100, we should know is 900. So that one's nice and straightforward. But 9 ones, and then don't forget you need 2 zeros. Then the next one, 9 times 2 is 18. So 9 times 20 would be 10 times bigger, 180. And then 9 times 6 is 54. So we've got 3 numbers to add at this time. So we've got 900, 180 and 54. Same method, column addition, start on the right hand side, 0, 0 plus 4 is just 4. 8 plus 5 is 13, so I need to carry that. And then 9 plus 1 is 10, plus the other one is 11. So that's 1,134. Now remember, that is the answer to the question where I just took out the decimal. But now I need to consider, what did I do when I took out the decimal? So I went from being 1.26 to 126. So if you can just see it, great. If you can't, you might need to work out using your place value table. So if we had 1.26 and it's now gone to 126, so the 1's the units column, just about fit that in. The 126, the 6 would be in the units column. So we can see that 1 has moved across from the units column to the tens and then to the hundreds. So it's gone across 2 places. So that means 2 places it's been times by 100. That means our question answer is 100 times too big. So we need to inverse that and divide it by 100. And that's going to get us to 11.34. And again, if you can't do that without a place value, nice and quickly, you would just do, imagine your place value, and then you need to divide it by 100, so it moves 2 places. So the 1 is going to jump into the 3 column, then everything else follows, and then that would be across there. So remember, that's where your decimal would be, so you can see, just run out of screen space on there, but it would be 11.34.